My name's Lynda Gaiao, and this week we're going to be taking a look at trait 27, which is nourishment and caring. What you're going to find happening this week is that there is going to be almost like this impulse around in the energy field around us to care for others, to support others, to bring this natural nourishment and nurturing of people in a compassionate and caring way. And this is beautiful energy to have around. The one thing that we really need to pay attention to, though, is that the trait 27 is in the energy resource or the sacral center, and anything that comes from this particular energy center or function is or needs to happen in response. And what that ultimately means is that unless someone is asking you for care and nourishment, we shouldn't be just volunteering it or just giving it. I'm sure we can all resonate with a situation or an experience in our lives where we've felt this need to care for somebody else, and we've poured our caring and nourishment and nurturing into this particular person, only to kind of have it thrown back in our faces and to not be valued or appreciated at all. And this is what happens when we care for somebody else, when we're not doing it out of response. In other words, when we haven't been asked to care. And anyone with this trait 27 in this design is going to have this as a challenge in their life, because there's going to be this impulse to care, and almost like you just want to do it out of the goodness of your heart, but unless somebody's actually asked you for it, it's never going to connect in a healthy way, and the person won't really receive the energy that you're sending to them. And so what you're going to need to pay attention to this week is understanding that if we are constantly pouring out this caring energy to people who haven't asked for it, or even to those that have asked for it, and we're just giving it out all the time, but we haven't balanced our own needs with the needs of others, the quality of what we're able to give is seriously impacted. And so this whole theme of self-nourishment and self-care, and actually in a sense selfishness, needs to be part of your awareness this week, because when you nourish yourself first, when your cup is full, you have a lot more resources, and the quality of the energy that you can give to somebody else is going to be so much more beneficial in the giving process and in the receiving process. And just being really aware of, are you giving in response? Are you following your decision-making strategy with everything that you do within this system, and ensuring that you're giving to the right people? So in terms of a business environment, the themes of support, nourishment, and care are very much a part of the fabric of running a business. And we have staff members to ensure that they are nourished and cared for, that they are supported. We have clients that need care and support as well. And this particular trait in the entire channel, which is the 2750, is kind of this preservation of the community or the workplace environment that you've set up, and making sure that it is as functional as possible so that it's going to survive. And the functionality of it rests on this support, caring, nourishment, ensuring that the ethics of that particular environment are the most healthy, and therefore everyone involved feels nourished, supported, and cared for, and we can all move together in a harmonious way. And so this week might be a great time for you to really revalue, what are the ethics within our workplace? What are our support processes and protocols? Is self-nourishment and self-care a part of the workplace environment? Do we encourage it? Do we allow it? And if you're a business owner and you're wearing many hats, this would be a great week to shine the light on where are you giving your energy away, and where are you stopping to ensure that you have your own self-care routine in place, so that when you show up in the workplace, you're able to really give of your best in that sense. And so you may want to consider having a discussion with your staff members, with your team, to ensure that some kind of process is in place to ensure that people do feel supported, they do feel cared for, and that they have the time and the focus of the priority towards self-care as well. So this week, what I'd encourage you to pay attention to is looking at, do you have guilt or any kind of past programming that comes up in your awareness when you start paying more attention to your own self-care? Because a lot of us can feel quite guilty about being selfish or about taking that time for self-nourishment and self-care. So just watch that and see how that shows up. I'd also encourage you to sit down and spend a couple of minutes to make a list of all of the things that would feel self-nourishing and self-caring for yourself, and then pick one every day. And some of them may only take a minute or two, and others you might need an hour or half a day. And just work that into your daily, weekly, and monthly, and even annual routine to ensure that you're getting that self-nourishment and that self-care. That's going to really help you to connect to who you are as an individual and show up as yourself in the most authentic way. So regardless of whether the 27 is around or not, I would say that this is a practice that I would encourage all the way through your life. But because we have this energy of the 27 around this week, it's like an amplification or a highlighting of that self-nourishment and self-care. So this is a great week to really reevaluate where you stand with that. The other thing that I'd encourage you to do is to, see, if you are not the owner of a company but you work somewhere, perhaps this week is a great time to bring up the conversation of self-care and self-nourishment, and maybe encourage everyone in your workplace to start some processes which do encourage this. I'd love to hear your stories about, or maybe even if you share something from the list that you've come up with of a self-nourishing practice that you do. Sometimes people can get, especially if they've spent an entire lifetime of not focusing on self-nourishment and care, some people don't actually know what would bring them that feeling anymore. They've forgotten it. It's so far outside of their spectrum that they don't even know. So if you do have an example of something that is self-nourishing and self-caring for you, then please do share it. It may help other viewers and listeners to connect to something. Like, oh wow, maybe I could try that and see if that works for me. And if you've got any stories to share about how you've implemented self-nourishment or self-care practices into the workplace or into your life and the results that have come out of that, I'd love to hear from you. And just a reminder that each week as the energy transits change, I do release a new video which shares a brief snapshot into what to pay attention to for that week. So if you want to be updated and notified when the next video comes out, please hit the subscribe button, which will make sure that you don't miss a particular episode. I hope you have a gorgeous week filled with self-nourishment and self-care. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.